Hello, and welcome to Law and Our TV. I'm Leonard Stevens, and I'm here with Brian Hilliard. He's a civil attorney who's going to share his knowledge on civil law with us. Brian, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being on our show. You agreed to take the case, and the actual time that I have to appear in court is a few months out. What steps do you take in order to litigate it to prevent it from going to court?
Well, the first thing is I'll contact the opposing counsel, if there is a counsel. If there is no attorney on the other side, then I'll contact the plaintiff directly and see if we can negotiate it. If there's a way for us to resolve this dispute before we even have to go to court. The first step is a case management conference. And at that case management conference, the judge takes a look at the case. Okay, has everybody been served? Is all the discovery, what discovery are you going to do? What kind of questions or documents do you want from the other side? If we can resolve it and get it to possible early mediation before we get to a case management conference, it's much better.
That would be preferred. Therefore, we don't encourage much cost. It doesn't take time. We get to a resolution, and both parties, hopefully, as amicable as possible, can agree to move on.
Right, and that's the main thing, is that an attorney, it's a costly endeavor. It doesn't matter if you're being sued, if you're suing somebody. It costs a lot of money, and at the end of the day, what you want to do is be able to resolve the dispute so people can go on with their lives.
How long does it normally take in order to resolve these issues?
It really depends on what type of case you're talking about. If we're talking unlimited jurisdiction, $25,000 or more, right? It can take anywhere between a year, 2 years, 5 years to resolve. Because the courts are so packed now, between the case management conference that we talked about earlier and the date for trial, it's usually about 2 years. But between the time it's set for trial, that case management conference, and trial, you can go to mediation. You can go to a mandatory settlement conference. You go through as many chances to resolve this dispute as you can. 99% of cases resolve. I'm Brian Hilliard, and you're watching Law on Our TV on Our TV.
Right now, I'm going to throw a slider, or maybe you might want to say a curveball at you.
Okay.
But no matter what, it's going to have a little junk on it when it comes across the plate.
Okay.
So, what's the difference from having someone like you, a civil attorney, represent me versus prepaid legal? Well,
prepaid legal is a very basic service. I'm not going to talk bad about prepaid legal, but it's a very basic service. What you're going to be doing is essentially representing yourself. If you talk to a prepaid legal attorney, they're going to write a letter on your behalf, but they're not going to appear in court for you for the basic fee. So if you have a dispute, for example, where you're suing somebody for $500,000, chances are they're not going to give you $500,000 on one letter. So you should go talk to an individual attorney, have a consult so they can walk through the best process of getting your case resolved.
Also, I think it probably, I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize, but the scope of what the actual case may be, because I think there are some limitations that they have before they have you go and talk to an attorney as well.
Right. It's very basic service for the basic plan. Prepaid legal, you pay, I think $40 a month or something like that. And it's a very basic service. But if you get sued, you really need to take the time out, get a full detailed consultation with an individual attorney instead of sometimes going through this process. If it's a basic dispute, it might resolve, but in my experience, it's usually better to talk to an individual. Are you being sued? Do you need to sue somebody? Are you involved in probate? Have you slipped and fallen? Do you have an injury? Have you been fired wrongfully? These are issues that you should not handle on your own. You need to talk to the Hilliard firm. This is what we specialize in. You need our expertise. Before it's too late, call us at 510-653-8886 or contact me directly at bh@hilliard-firm.com.